Have you ever wondered why, as artists, we sometimes feel the need or compelled to create and recreate studies of older paintings? We glance at these stunning, sometimes massive and very much complex pieces of art and think of how we could create a study of them. Paintings that are sometimes forgotten by painters that you don't hear their names so often, or perhaps paintings that everyone has already made at least one study of. Did you ever think about it? Well, me too. While I was in high school, at one point, our art teacher told us we had to choose one piece from a painter we really liked, study it, deconstruct it, and then create our own piece having that one as inspiration. I was a bit confused as to why we had to do such a thing, mostly because she mainly gave us the assignment and then left it at that. But while working through it, she explained, giving little hints as to what purpose such work had for our own progress. In short, when we learn to evaluate a piece, deconstruct it, or even if we try to recreate it, we are learning what the thought process of the artist was. In what way did he struggle, and how he was able to solve and push through the issues he came across. Learning this process can be a way to place ourselves in the artist's shoes, learn by going through the same struggles he went through, making the same mistakes, figuring out how he solved things. It helps us grow, become more proficient, helps our creative intellect and intelligence. When it comes to figuring out materials, making mistakes, solving them is what helps us. But to know that the artists we admire so much went through similar struggles can be at the same time humbling and reassuring. John Singer Sargent is a very known Impressionist painter, one of the best-known portrait painters of all time. And just like many other artists, I find his work truly inspiring and just overall beautiful. He created the most fascinating portraits with stunning brushwork and technique. I purchased a book, which is a collection of most of his artworks, and I've been studying and analyzing his pieces. Most of the pieces in the book are finished, so there aren't that many sketches from him, so I'm now looking for a book that has some of his sketchwork. I've been fascinated, looking at his brush marks, the colors, the shape of his marks, even the way he put emotion into his portraits. And so, I've been inspired to create a study from one of these works. I know he was mainly an oil painter, but Sargent was also known for his watercolor studies. I decided I wanted to try and emulate an oil painting of his using watercolors, to experiment, test my own watercolor knowledge. In the previous video, what I did was to get out my sketchbook and start doing sketches based on some of the people of his portraits, mostly to practice the way he approached the human face, expressions. One of the things I love the most in his portraits are the way the eyes are so expressive, so human, full of emotion. Some of my favorite paintings include Lady Agnew, Madame Gautreau drinking a toast, In a Garden, Corfu, and the Wyndham Sisters. I also find some more affinity for the paintings he did in his own leisure time, instead of the ones commissioned to him. As I said, these are some of my favorites, but it doesn't mean I wanted to paint and study only these pieces. In fact, some that I was most curious to try were the ones with portraits of children, or with beautiful backgrounds. The one thing I had on my mind when I began the sketching process was that I wanted to enjoy the sketching as much as possible. I've been very busy lately, work being full-time, not having time to dedicate myself to drawing and painting as much as I used to. And even though I truly miss painting, I think I needed some alone time with just sketching. Appreciating the feeling of pencil on paper, the sounds, textures. And finally, I was ready to start painting the final master study. I chose the piece Madame Gautreau, Drinking a Toast, since it is one of my all-time favorites. There are too many that I would like to attempt to study, but this video would turn out endless. I believe the one thing I truly did find difficulty in was the expression and the brushwork in Madame Gautreau's features, since watercolors work so differently from oils. In a way, I did try to take advantage of that and try to make it my own, but since I was trying to make a copy, I guess I couldn't have avoided getting a bit frustrated that it wasn't looking like the original, down to every single brush. Something that I truly enjoyed painting were both the loose brushstrokes on her dress and also the flowers on the table. Now, I am fully aware of how long her arm is. I got a bit confused when looking at the image in the book and accidentally made her arm longer than it was. But all is well. I'm sure no one noticed at the party she was at. I was a bit sad that I couldn't get her nose to be as sharp and angled. I think her features lacked some sharper drawing, but I still really love her regal look. As if Madame Gautreau was doing you a favor by toasting with you. future, I wish to make more of these studies. In particular, some portraits of children, some that are more colorful and have some more lighting complexity. As for some final touches, I added some gouache in the end to add some loose brushstrokes in her dress and flowers, much like Sargent had done. Not really mixing his colors so they are uniform, but instead being much less organized in that sense. However, I find that even though it seems that Sargent was slightly unorganized, there is a methodical and very logical way each brushstroke is put down, and that is fascinating to me. And so, I truly hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it inspired you, even for a while, and that you create something for yourself. So if you'd like, please do check my Instagram. I post a lot of reels there at thelazyartist13. Make sure to check my Ko-fi account if you'd like to make a small donation that will help me for future videos. And happy creating! Take care.